All right, we are back. This is NHL 20 Franchise Mode Calgary Flames. This is episode number 51. Yes, welcome back to our Franchise Mode here at the Calgary Flames, and welcome into episode number 51, what could be one of our final episodes here as we continue our final push at a Stanley Cup in our final year of 2025 as GM of the Calgary Flames. So yes, welcome into episode number 51. As mentioned, we just finished off the Chicago Blackhawks in the last episode in 5 games in the first round to obviously get our first playoff series win of the year as we're looking to try and go back to back here as Stanley Cup champions. So let's simulate a day here. We obviously know we have the LA Kings coming up next. They swept the Anaheim Ducks in their first round series there. In the other Pacific Division matchup, of course, we won the Pacific Division this year. So that's why we face the Chicago Blackhawks in the wild card division. The wild card spot, I should say. So we're continuing to advance a couple of days here as we're waiting for the other series to finish. Looks like everything's all done except for a couple series in the East, so let's keep going here. And it will be Winnipeg and Dallas in the other series in the Western Conference, us in LA. Wow, quite a few days here that we have off. Almost a full week here as we continue to sim up. And there we go. We waited for a couple teams in the East, and we are ready to go against the Kings. So we're going to get right into it in this episode. I don't know how long this one's going to be, if it's going to be shorter. Depending on, like I said, how far we go. Again, if we do not make it through this series against the Los Angeles Kings, this will be our final episode of this franchise mode with the Calgary Flames. We'll be starting up a new one in NHL 21 on this channel very soon, as this one wraps up. And it could, like I said, wrap up within this episode. So let's hope not, though, because that means we are eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs in what is our final year. Obviously, when you're looking to retire as a GM, you want to go out on top. And even though we did win the Stanley Cup last year and accomplish our ultimate goal, we definitely want to do it once again. So let's jump right in. We're going to take a look quickly at stats for both us and the LA Kings, dissect the teams, and then get right into the simming. So let's go by team stats first. All right, so we're going to go by entire league. Yeah. We're just going to look at again, small sample size here because, we only played 5 games. The Kings only played 4 games, but let's just see where we stood in terms of goals for per game, goals against, that stuff. So goals for per game, we ranked as the highest in the Stanley Cup playoffs, where we probably should have been. Don't forget, again, if you haven't watched the last couple episodes, go back and watch it. We struggled mightily in the first half of the season, but man, did we ever pick it up in the second half, putting up an insane, I think we had 4.66 actually in the regular season when it was all said and done, and that was considering both the first half that was really bad and the second half that was really good. And look at this, in the playoffs now we're at 4.6 goals for per game. Obviously really, really good there. So that leads the NHL and the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're looking for the LA Kings here. They look to be near the bottom here. Excuse me, did I miss the LA Kings? Where are we here? Okay, sorry, they're at the top here. I completely skipped over them. 4.25 is what they're averaging, so not too far below what we have at 4.6 in terms of goals for per game. One less game, don't forget, for the LA Kings. Keep that in mind. Goals against looking like this. Best goals against goes to Detroit. We have the second best goals against, which is massive improvement from the regular season. Again, polar opposite. Again, the first half of the season was horrible. The second half, we picked it up a little bit with the acquisition of Braden Holtby and a more solidified defensive core. But we still struggled mightily in the regular season when it came to goals against. This is a huge improvement. The fact that we're second best in the Stanley Cup playoffs with a 1.60 goals against, that's what you want to see. It just shows you that, that start to the regular season, it's insane how bad it was. And it just how much it didn't reflect what we are as a team. Anyways, enough of that. Again, go back, watch the last few episodes of the regular season. It was a wild season, to say the least, en route to winning a Pacific Division championship. All right, there's the Kings there, 2.25. Again, not too far below us. Again, 4th in the NHL in goals against, 4th in the NHL in goals for, and we're first, in goals for, and 2nd in goals against. So we have them beat slightly. Again, small sample size. They've only played 4 games. We've played 5. But this is what we're going to go off with. All right, power play. They do own the best PP in the league. Again, through 4 games, 3 power play goals on 11 tries, 27.3%. Again, those numbers are a little bit skewed because of games played. 18.8 for us. Not a bad power play either. Certainly not as good as our second half regular season power play. That kind of flipped the script here at the PKs. I'm guessing we have the best PK. Look at this. We have the best PK in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And again, the reason I'm laughing, if you watched the last few episodes, the thing that was the worst for us all season long was the PK. So we only let in one power play goal against, in 19 tries. Yeah, I mean, it was bonkers how bad our PK was all year long. What happened is near the end of the season there, at the very end, one of our players got injured, so I went best lines, and they made the best lines for what they thought our PK was, and they took off like our top players like Nathan McKinnon and everything off our PK. They put on some pretty bad players, guys that I would in real life never put on my PK, but some reason it worked. I mean, we have the best PK right now, operating at like a 94%, so you know what, won't even touch it. But it's just bizarre how crazy, this game is with certain things. It just doesn't make sense, in regards to, lines and the way you make them. So I don't know. I'm not going to ramble on. Let's just take a quick look here at through the first 5 games. Matthew Tkachuk, 10 points in 5 games, absolutely lights out. I hope our next GM really considers not only just keeping this guy around, but maybe even making him a future captain, depending on what Sean Monahan does here. I think Tkachuk's going to be here a long time. 27 years of age. Again, real life, I think Tkachuk's there already in today's day and age, but in this game, it took him a few years to get to this level. The last 2 regular seasons and now this playoffs and last year's Stanley Cup playoffs has been really good for Tkachuk. He could have won a Conn Smythe last year for us. He was that good in the playoffs. He was lights out in the regular season, both this year and last year. But the seasons before that, he really struggled. We really wondered if we even should have traded him. There was a lot of years where we were wondering, is he just going to be that depth player that puts up 20 goals? A casual 40 to 50 points. Is that somebody we could let go? But no, he's turned it around. I'm glad we've hung on to Tkachuk. He's just been a bit of a late bloomer, but he's really turned into a good superstar for this team. And he's playing on is he on the top line? Yeah, he's on the top line. That's right, with Gaudreau and McKinnon. There's Johnny with 9 points there. I think he leads us in goals, 4 goals. Monahan, 9 points as well. McKinnon on that top line, as mentioned, 9 points. That top line just lights out. Ovechkin, 5 points there in 5 games, so still really good for the aging 39-year-old Alex Ovechkin. Dubé's got 5 points there in that second line, so our top 6 just really, putting the numbers through the roof. That's all you can ask for out of our very elite top 6 core. Bottom 6 with Giroux, 3 points. Phillips, 3 points. Nemeth, 2 points. In 3 games, Manson, and then onward. Valimaki struggling there, just 2 points. But again, we're also looking at this plus column. A lot of guys there, like Manson, +6. A lot to like in the plus column as well. Kachuk's also a +6. Excuse me. So you're not even seeing. Rasmus Anderson a +8. Look at that. You're not seeing anybody in the minuses. Again, it was a really good opening round, small sample size, but that's what you want to see in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Looking really good there. All right, goaltending looks like this. Holtby goes 9-4-4, 156 goals against through the 5 games, 4-0-1 record. Pretty decent there for Brian Holtby. Again, 35 years of age, but we had to bring him over in replace of Jordan Binnington about halfway through the season for this exact reason. Still an 89 overall. That's all you can ask for out of your starting goaltender. Let's get right to LA here. Again, I don't like this because it is such a small sample size. Excuse me, I went to AHL team here. Yeah, I don't like this because, these stats are, it's only 4 games, so we can't really get a good gauge. But, you'll get to see who some of their top players are. They're led by Anze Kopitar here, 6 points through 4 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. That's obviously really good. Gabriel Velarde there has come in there with his own with 5 points through 4 games. Drew Doughty is still there with 5 points. This Estrada guy has got 4 points. This guy here has got 4 points. A lot of new faces here in this LA team. Delomore. I don't even know how to say that. Kempe there's got 3 points. Josh Leavell there with 3 points. So yeah, their offense is not as good as ours. Quite spread out as well. We're looking at their plus minuses. They don't have too many guys in the minuses like us either. Again, the team stats should reflect that, but yeah, it can't really. We don't have a lot to go off with through 4 games. It's a very small sample size, obviously. They're led by Jonathan Bernier net, who went 4-0-0, obviously, and went 9-3-4, 2-1-7 goals against. Not bad for Brain Holtby. Did he have any shuttles? Where's the shuttles here? I want to look at shuttles. It doesn't tell us shuttles. Am I missing it here? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I completely skipped it again. So no shutouts in that opening round, whereas I believe Brain Holtby had 2 for us in that opening round. So, again, very small sample size. There's not a lot to work with there, but we kind of just get a quick look at what their team is like, with who leads their team, what we can expect here in the second round. The first round's always hard to look after. Once you get to, like, say, the third round of the Stanley Cup Finals, well, then you've got a much larger sample size of games played, so it's a lot easier to work with. All right, let's look at their lineups, and then let's get right into simming here. So, excuse me, looking at their lineups, I didn't see Andre Palat there on their stats there. He only has 2 points there in 4 games, but he is an 85. Andre Palat, the former Tampa Bay Lightning, on that top line, 85. Kopitar's down to an 80. So this is interesting. I'm just looking at their overalls right now throughout their entire team. They do not have a good offensive core on paper. Their best player is Andre Palat, 85. Kopitar, 80, and Adrian Kempe, excuse me, at 84. That is a pretty mediocre top line. That's probably more of a second line. Kopitar at 80, now that he's 37 years of age, brings it down. But again, that's on paper because he does still have 6 points through 4 games. So at 80 overall, Kopitar is probably playing more like an 85, 86 right now, which is crazy. But good for him. Second line looks like this. Estrada at 83. Gabe Velarde is only an 81. I thought he'd be a lot higher now that he's 25 years of age. He was a top prospect for them. Maybe just didn't pan out as much as they hoped. Josh Leavell an 80. Again, this is probably a third line at best right here. When we get down here, we got Akil Thompson, who is 79. We got this Anderson Dolan guy, who is 80, and this Kaliev guy, who is 79. So again, probably a fourth line right there. Their actual fourth line looks like this: 78, 78, and 78 with Brett Ritchie. So not a good, like, they got 2 fourth lines here. They got maybe a third line here on their second line, and maybe a second line on their top line. Like, they don't have a good offensive core on paper. I don't know how they're getting it done. Anaheim must have just been really bad in that opening round. I don't know how they swept them with an offense like that looks like that. They do have a much better defense. Wow, they have a really good defense. Holy cow. Just looking at the numbers here. So this is how they're making it, is with this defensive core, which is insane. So they got this DeMar Clark guy, who we know was like a top prospect. I think he was even a first overall pick or something. He went 3rd overall in 2021. He's panned out to 90 overall at 22 years of age. He's insane how good he is at that young. They got Delamore, who is also panned out to 90 overall. They took him 2nd overall in 2022. So they took back-to-back top defensemen, franchise defensemen, in back-to-back drafts with the 2nd and 3rd overall pick in those years. Then they got this guy here, Maxim Vasiliev guy as well. Maxim Vasiliev guy. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Another guy they took in the first round, 4th overall. So if I'm not mistaken, this guy's 4th overall. Actually, let's just go like this: 4th overall, 2nd overall, and 3rd overall in 2021, 2022, and so basically 3 years in a row. They picked 3 defensemen in a row in the top 4, and they've all panned out to be franchise defensemen. And on top of it, they still have Drew Doughty, who was their top defenseman for so many years. Now, he is 35 years of age, but he's still an 89. I mean, how the hell LA built this top 4 is insane, especially these 3 in a row. That would never happen in real life. Like, that's just bizarre. They were that bad for, like, that's basically even worse than the Edmonton Oilers in a way. Maybe not as bad, but pretty damn close to what the Oilers did for so many years. But the fact that they did it 3 years in a row and took 3 straight defensemen, and all 3 of them are so young, like 23, 22, and 20, and they're already 86, 90, and 90 overall. Like, that's insane. These defensemen. Absolutely insane how LA built their team, but it has obviously costed them offensively. As we can see, they don't have a good offensive team at all, which is weird because you don't want to rebuild your offense, especially when you got a defense this good. What I think they should do is actually rebuild. They should have went hard and rebuilt this year. They should have traded Doughty, kept these 3 obviously, and just completely rebuilt their team and got some good forwards in there. But that's a weird situation to be in. It'd be interesting to see where they go down the road. But anyways, they got a couple third pairing guys down here. These guys probably aren't going to see a lot of ice time. This top 6 is going to carry this team if they make it through. That's an top 4, not top 6, I should say. Incredible top 4. Taking a look here at the goaltender. Holy cow. All right, so this team is defense and defense only. They got 4 guys that will carry this team on the back end, and that's going to pretty much be it. Because look at their goaltending. 74. How the hell are they playing with a 74 overall goaltender in Jonathan Bernier? Their backup is a 73. But 74? But somehow, again, like his number is 934, 217 goals against. That's probably more like an 84. But the fact that he's a 74, I mean, they got him listed as a minor backup goalie at best. His potential is an AHL starter exact. Like, this guy should be a backup in the minors, Jonathan Bernier, 36 years of age. Holy cow, I don't even know what to say. Like, this team is insane. Like, I'm not even going to look at their power play or PK because, like, I don't understand how they even made it. I know they have a very legitimate top four, maybe one of the best top fours in the league, certainly the best young up-and-coming defensive cores in the entire NHL. But how on earth did they even make it through the first round, let alone the Stanley Cup playoffs with that roster? I mean, unbelievable. And they finished either second or third in our division. Like, that does not make sense. All right, I don't know. I'm pretty ready to be done with this franchise mode. Just bizarre things like that. All right, again, just to look at our offense, our lineup, it's a little bit more, I don't know, compared to theirs. Obviously, our offense is leaps and bounds ahead of what they have. Our defense is obviously not as good, but still 89, 85 there with Valimaki, Hamilton, 84 and 85 with Manson, Anderson. Obviously not as good as their top four, but I think it's still up there. Bottom pairing probably about similar, but I mean, obviously we have to beat with the offense and goaltending. Holtby at 89, Samsonov at 83 is leaps and bounds. Like, Samsonov at 83 is almost 10 better in overall than their starting goalie in Bernier. Our backup is almost got a 10 plus better overall. 10 whatever you want to call it, plus minus differential overall than their backup goalie. Like, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't know what to say. So let's get in. This is going to be interesting. Watch us completely bomb and lose this series. I mean, it's insane how bad they are in paper. Other than that top four, which is so elite. But other than that, like, it's bizarre how they even made it, especially with Jonathan Bernier in it. It just doesn't make sense. But let's jump right in. Let's get into it. I'm pretty intrigued to see how this series is going to go. So let me take a drink here as we jump into Game 1 here against the Kings. All right, we're going with real-time sim in this one. So they start off on the PP to start off this series. Game 1 from Calgary. Flames and Kings. Here we go. We got our first look at the power play, and we do get a goal on that opening power play. So we go 1-for-1 here in the series to start. Alex Ovechkin gets the first goal of the series. That's a huge goal for us. Keep it coming, Calgary. Come on, Flames. All right. Good opening period there. We start off the 1-0 lead. Oh, my God. Which button is it here? Is it this one? Yeah, there we go. All right, second period's underway here. They got another look at the power play. Our PK has been good except for right there. It's not a power play goal for Adelty, but it comes right after the power play. They tie this game up at 1. And then we get a goal from one of our top four defensemen, Rasmus Anderson. That's a huge goal for him. Might be his first of the playoffs. Gives us a 2-1 lead. All right, third period. Here we go. Huge goal there by Dylan Dubé on the power play to open up the third period. That's what you want to see. Depth scoring, and it comes through on our second PP unit. And then Nathan McKinnon adding an insurance goal here about halfway through the third period. That's a huge third period start for Calgary. I mean, this is what you need from teams is good depth on your PP and on just overall scoring depth, and a guy like Dylan Dubé to come through, and then you get your top players like McKinnon to support. That's huge. We had a goal from Shillington. They had one from Anderson Dolan, and we win this one 5-2. All right, I like that. Obviously a good start to this one. This series, I should say. Again, another good night for Matthew Tkachuk. 3-point night there for him. 2-point night for McKinnon. Really good there. Plus minus is looking good. Eberle was a -2. As that third line struggled, but still a pretty good game overall. 9-4-3. Really good night there for Braden Holtby to open up this series. So that's the Kings' first loss of the playoffs. Again, we attacked maybe their goaltending. We kept their weak offense at bay. Again, this should be an easy series, but again, I don't know if it will be. We'll see. But considering how bad they are in paper, especially with the goaltending, this should go a little faster. But I don't know. We'll see. Game 2, here we go. Kings again on the power play. We've been pretty good on the PK so far. They do get a goal off of the momentum. We respond here though by Dougie Hamilton with his first. There's Andre Palat responding for them, 2-1, and then Arsen Zarnik. So back and forth we go here in the first period as it is 2-2. Come on, Flames, big PK here. Fuck, they get another one. Anderson Dolan, his second of the series. So we seem to be killing off these penalties, but they're getting momentum from these penalties. That's what seems to be happening here in the first 2 games. They got a 3-2 lead after 1. Come on, Flames. Want to take this 2-0. Oh my God, Kyle Palmieri, and he wasn't even in their lineup. So I wonder if they just inserted Kyle Palmieri in for this game. They go goals from Palmieri and Palat. Take a 5-2 lead here in the second period. So we took them a little too lightly here in game 2. And again, I don't know how they're getting all these goals, because where is it coming from? There's one of their defensemen. They go 6-2 through 40. Not a good game at all for us here. Let's see if we can fight back a little bit here in this third period. But it does look like the Kings are going to tie this series up, which is bizarre to say the least, because, again, on paper, this should be an easy sweep for us. But considering how bad they are with their goaltending and offense, but as we know, with this game, it does not matter. All right, so that's a throwaway game right there. Unfortunately, you can't afford those in the Stanley Cup playoffs at all. We struggled in this one. Let's see where we struggled. All right. A lot of guys struggling. That second period, really struggling there with Rasmus Anderson, Josh Manson. Top line second line struggling with Ovechkin, Monahan, and Dubé. They really struggled in this one. -3. And not a good night for Hope either. 1-8 there, save percentage. On 33 shots against. Yeah, that's not a good night all around. That was just, poor night for our goaltending. And a poor night for our second pairing and second line. We let the Kings battle back in this one. So we're going to have to flip the script here. Don't know if I really want to make a lineup change or not. I don't want to... I mean, our top 6 has been so good. That second line really struggled in that game. But I don't really want to move anybody out of that that second line. Anderson and Manson struggled. I mean, we can flip. We can try flipping Anderson and Hamilton. That actually gives us +1s right down the board for line chemistry. So we can try that. But other than that, we won't make any line changes. We'll go back to Holtby, obviously. And yeah, see, we can. I don't know what to say, because this is bizarre. We shouldn't be losing any game here, but somehow we are. And it's just, I don't know what to say. McKinnon opens up the Game 3 here in LA with a power play goal. Again, they find a way to respond. Somehow they're scoring goals. Andre Platt and then Anderson Dolan. We get one back from Sean Monahan. Again, Andre Platt was, an 85 and was their best player. Like, it's insane. Kopitar, again, he scores. Like, I don't know what to say. We're letting in goals now at an alarming rate. This doesn't look to be a good game for Braden Holtby yet again, and I wonder if we're going to have to go to Ilya Samsonov here pretty soon. Let's see what the second period has to offer, because we should not be letting in goals against a team like LA. And more importantly, we should be scoring a lot more on a 74 overall goaltender in Jonathan Bernier. Bizarre. All right, power play here. There we go. Jordan Eberle, huge goal there in the third line. Ties this game up as we head into the third period. All right, we've waited all period for that one. That's a huge goal by Ebbs. Let's see if we can pull away here in the third period. Come on, Calgary. Just got to win this period right here. Come on, Flames. There we go. Nathan McKinnon, another power play goal for him. His second of the game. Come on, Calgary. There we go. Josh Manson. Beautiful. That's what we need as our scoring to start coming through. I mean, he's a 74 overall goal. He just puts shots on net. My God. Should be beating him with every 10 shots we take. At least. Kopitar makes it close here with a minute to go. 5-4, but we'll hang on. Whew. Anze Kopitar somehow at 80 overall still getting the job done for them. That's insane. Alright, so second 3-point night of the series for Matthew Tkachuk. Nathan McKinnon's also got a 3-point night, 2-point night there for Monahan, Ovechkin. Much better bounce back by that second line. Let's look here at the plus minuses, so a few guys here in the minuses still. But much better, than last game, I should say. Braden Holtby's still below 900 in this one, 852. So second game where he kind of struggled. But, you know, we'll stick with him. He's still an 89 overall. I mean, I think he's still capable of getting the job done. But that's two pretty poor games by Braden Holtby and his standards, letting in 6 goals and then 4 goals in the last 2 games here. After what was a really good opening round against Chicago, Holtby is and a good opening game 1. Holtby's just struggled these last 2 games, so let's hope it's just a little bit of a fluke here, and we can get back into it, or he can get back into his groove here, I should say, heading into game 4. So let's jump right in. We need to take a huge 3-1 series lead right here. We need this game. We cannot let them. Excuse me, win this game, because this series would be tied at 2. I mean, I say it every episode. Game 4 is the most important game of any series, by far. And this is exactly a good example why in this franchise or in this episode right here. So Monahan has opened the scoring here in the first period. So that's a good start to game 4, but we have to win this game. This is like a must-win right here, because we can go up 3-1 and take a huge stranglehold on this series. Come on, Calgary. We don't want to give them any life, especially a team that, you know, this might be one of the dangerous teams, most dangerous teams we face here in the Stanley Cup playoffs, just because they're so unpredictable. I mean, they're so bad on paper, but yet they, you know, you don't know what they're going to throw at you each game. Like they're finding a way to come through. They're definitely way harder than the Chicago Blackhawks, in my opinion, despite being way worse than the Chicago Blackhawks. And that's exactly why, because they're just going to come out of nowhere and tie this game up. Fuck. All right, come on, Calgary. And in a game where we should have like way more than 1 goal on Jonathan Bernier too. Like, this is bizarre. Come on, Flames, about halfway through. Huge goal there by Austin Czarnik. Huge 4th-line goal. Ah, fuck, they tie it up again. Kopitar. There is no winning. Like, this is just brutal. All right. 2-2 here after 60 minutes of play. We're going to overtime in game 4 again. This next goal literally could decide this series. If we score, we could probably have a very good chance, or we will have a very good chance of finishing this series off, or eventually finishing this series off. But if LA scores here, I mean, I don't know. We're going to be in tough. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. This is just, it's bizarre how crazy this LA team is right now. So let's hope we get it done in overtime here and win game 4. Come on, Flames. Here we go, overtime. Come on, Calgary. We need this one. Come on. Yes! Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, Austin Czarnik has been lights out in these last few games. He scores an overtime winner. I think it's his 2nd goal of the game. Huge performance by Austin Czarnik on the 4th line. We'll take it. That is a massive game. Yeah, 2-goal performance there by Czarnik, excuse me. I'm just looking here at plus minuses. Pretty good in the plus minus category. And a 9-1-3. Much better night there for Holtby than the last 2 games. But for some reason, our offense just couldn't beat Jonathan Bernier, which is bizarre. Again, considering he's a 74. I don't know how many times I'm going to mention it this episode. He is a 74 overall. He is a backup goalie in the AHL at best. Like, it's bizarre. Anyways, I wonder if LA had a lot of injuries with their goalies, and that's all they could get this year. So let's jump into Game 5, a chance to eliminate the LA Kings here in 5 games. It's the same amount of games we eliminated the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's see if we can get it done. I just want to be done with LA right now. All right, here we go. Game 5. Let's finish them off at home. Here we go, Flames. Come on, first period. Come on, Calgary. Don't give them any life in this. Let's just end this while we can. Come on, Flames. Starting here with the PP. Come on, Calgary. Got to get the PP going. The power play was good to start. It's kind of dipped a little bit, but that's a huge power play goal there by Johnny Gaudreau. And then Kyle Palmieri responds. Again, every time we score, they're tying this game up. Like, it's bizarre. I don't know where this is coming from. So yeah, first period 1-1 there. Gaudreau and Palmieri. Come on, Flames. Oh, Palmieri again. Gives them a 2-1 lead. Come on, Calgary. You have to fight back here. Come on. Come on, Calgary. Power play. Come on. Yes, McKinnon. Yes, huge power play goal. 2nd power play goal of the game. Come on, Flames. Come on, Calgary. Just want to finish this off. There we go, Scott Wilson. That's another 4th-line goal for Scotty Wilson. Huge goal there by Wilson. All right, keep it going, Calgary. 1 period left. We just got to hang on for 20 minutes here. Come on. Hang on for 15 minutes here, Calgary. Got a 1-goal lead here. Come on, Flames. Oh, don't give it to them here. Don't give it to them. Come on. Oh. Come on, Flames. Hang on here. Come on. Another PK. Yes! Kachuk! That might have been shorthanded, too. That's a huge goal. No, it was even strength, but that gives us a 4-2 lead with a minute to go, and Valimaki will seal it. Empty netter. The LA Kings are done. Whew. That was a much tougher series than it should have been for us. All right. So that's that's much better. I don't know why that one was maybe looked tougher than it should have been. We do end up winning this series in 5 games, the same score that we won against the Chicago Blackhawks. At the end of the day, we do get the series win. But again, it just seemed like it could have been so much closer, considering how dangerous LA was, despite what their stats were showing on paper. They shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. There's no way they should have made it past Anaheim. Absolutely bizarre. And the fact that they, if they won that 4th game, they could have made this a really close series. Luckily, we did get Game 4 in overtime, thanks to Austin Czarnik, and then that allowed us to put them away in 5 games. All right, so that was huge. Look at Kachuk, up to 17 points there through 10 games. So far, he is our running MVP of the playoffs through 2 rounds. We still have 2 more rounds, hopefully, to go. And it looks like it will either be Winnipeg or Dallas. So let's keep simming here. Let's find out who our opponent for the next series is, and then we'll end this episode here. So let's advance the day here. Let's just see if it's going to be Dallas or Winnipeg in the Western Conference Finals. Come on, Calgary. I don't know why I'm saying that. We're just sitting idle right now. All right, so it's going to be Winnipeg. So this is going to be a fun matchup. It is going to be an all-Canadian matchup in the Western Conference Finals of 2025. Winnipeg and Calgary for a chance to play for the Stanley Cup. And if we make it, we will have a chance to defend our title as back-to-back champs, hopefully. If not, our season could come to an end, and our franchise mode as a whole will come to an end in the next episode. So we'll end this here. This was episode number 51. Calgary Flames beat the LA Kings in 5 games after beating the Chicago Blackhawks the round before in 5 games. Next up, the Winnipeg Jets in the Western Conference Finals in episode number 52.